Hello, my health and safety professionals. Welcome once again to our today's tutorial. And we are moving on with our NEBOSH International General Certificate. Our today's tutorial, we are going to talk about how to study NEBOSH, NEBOSH IGC or GIC, the new syllabus, and be able to pass at the first attempt. There are people who needs to know what is the best plan to study NEBOSH course. Therefore, this video is going to take you through all the steps or how you will divide your time for you to divide the learning outcomes and the elements so that you will be able to complete the course in time and you will be able to prepare yourself for the examination and to do and pass the exam. So whether you are learning through this channel or you are learning through the learning center, you will still need to use this method for you to pass your examination. They are the same method that I used before I did my examination. Remember, my previous video, I already made some my videos, and I talked about the tips on how to do the examination, the open book examination. And I also gave my personal experience on how I did my exam, and I managed to earn a distinction with 81%. So it's very possible, and you can do it, but everything has got a plan. And the plan that I used is exactly what I am teaching you today. And you can use the same plan and you can pass your examination. The most important thing is your understanding in the course and your application of your understanding in the examination. And after that, you will have to apply the knowledge that you got in class, and you apply it in your workplaces as well as your life. You are going to divide your course into learning outcomes, and each and every learning outcome is covered within certain weeks. Therefore, look for somewhere so you can get the breakdown on how you can simply arrange your time and study. The most important thing with this course is to take your time and study. You need to read. Actually, there is no shortcut with this course. You just need to read. You read thoroughly, you take your time, you get exhausted, you sleep and you wake up again and you start reading. This is a very serious course because the objective is to save life. Therefore, the course also is not as simple as other courses. So it's not difficult, but it's challenging if you are not well prepared. So I have divided my my plan that I used. The first week and the second week, you are going to read or you're going to cover the following learning outcomes or the following elements. The first week and second week, you are going to cover IGS 1, element 1 and 2. So you are writing down the first and second week, IGS 1, element 1 and 2. Then put full colony. The topics you're going to deal with, because the ones that I've highlighted here, they are the ones which are mostly examined. You must find them in the examination. Moral and money. So the first and the second week, you will do IGS 1 or GIC 1, element 1 and 2. Then put full colony. You write moral, stroke, financial stroke legal case stroke accidents causation and human factors. So put a dash under that as a point. On this topic, you put a dash there. On this topic, you will focus on the understanding why these modes exist: moral and money and legal. Moral, financial, legal. You will focus on understanding why these modes exist: moral, money, that's financial, and legal, and accident causation, because these are the main areas the exam will come from. The next point, you will write GIC exam, GIC exam, test application of the concept. It tests application of the concept, not the recall of the theory. What does it mean? Here I'm trying to tell you that this element 1 and 2, IGC 1, element 1 and 2, the questions that will come from this element, they will test your application of your understanding of the cause in the examination, not what you remember, whatever you learned in class or whatever you learned in your training. You can remember everything, whatever you learned in class, but application is what is required. That is the important part. The second one, the first one we said week 1 and 2, that is 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, you should have covered element 1 and 2, and the topics that you're going to cover should be financial, or moral, legal cases, accident, causation, and human factors. This is what you're going to cover. Week 3 and 4, GIC 1, element 3. So this one you're going to cover one element because this element is the largest in the course. Element 3 is the largest and the most important course in the NEBOSH IGC, and it is the course that most of the questions are going to be asked in the examination. That's why within these 2 weeks, 3 and 4, you will have to cover this one element only because it's huge and it requires a lot of time. What are you going to cover? So you put full colony. So write GIC 1, element 3, full colony, controlling risk, comma, hazard specific content. Controlling risk, comma, hazard specific content, comma, working at height, comma, manual handling, comma, fire safety, comma, electrical safety, comma, chemical safety, that is the chemical safety, comma, display screen equipment, working environment, full stop. You will be covering the element 3 only within the 3rd week and the 4th week. You will be covering element 3 only, and those are some of the those are the learning outcomes that you will go through. This is the largest volume element, so you plan for more time, and you plan for more time and use your time wisely during these 2 weeks. Number 3 is week 5 and week 6. And these 2 weeks, you will cover the following. These 2 weeks, you will cover the following: GIC 2, or paper 2. Now we're talking about the risk assessment now, because remember the paper 1 has got element 1 to element 4. week 5 and week 6, you will do the GCI2 risk assessment fieldwork, and in this you will conduct your workplace walkthrough. You will conduct your workplace walkthrough, complete your risk assessment, and draft the submission. So between week 5 and week 6, you will be required to read and understand the course. At the same time, you will use whatever organization you shall have chosen, or the workplace you shall have chose, and you will walk through the organization. You get to know the managers, you get to know the directors, you get to know the senior managers, you get to know the supervisors, you get to know the subordinate workers, you get to know every part of the organization. That's when you will be able to identify the types of hazard in the workplace, how many people in total are working there. So all this information, you will have to gather them before you start the risk assessment paper 2. So the 5 and 6 week, the important thing is you'll go through your workplace to know your workplace. Then you'll draft your risk assessment. Put a point below, put a dash. Ensure you do this before GIC 1 revision is complete. Remember, when you are going to a learning center, let's say you are going to your institution where you are learning, and after you have completed your course, normally the tutors or the instructors, they normally go through a revision with the students. So complete the GIC2 or the IGC2 before the revision ends, before the revision of the IGC1 ends. That should be the strategy. When you are revising the IGC1, at the same time, you should be in a position to prepare the risk assessment, because the information that is found in IGC1, you will need the same information to complete or to answer or to fill in the IGC2. So that one, put it in mind, because the knowledge, the knowledge in both papers, they align together. So you will need the theory in IGC1 or GIC1 in order for you to fill and to able to fill and answer the IGC2 or GIC2. So ensure you do this, or you prepare the risk assessment before the IGC1 revision is completed, so you have enough time to revise and improve the IGC2 before submission. So after you have completed the IGC2, you will have enough time for you to review it, to correct where there is an error before you submit the papers. Remember, this time both 2 papers are submitted on the same day, so you will have to prepare yourself in advance. When you are doing the paper 1 or the GIC1, you should as well, when you are doing revision in the paper 1, you should be at the same time, you should be in a position to prepare the paper 2, so that they go hand in hand. By the time you are doing the paper 1, the same time, on the same day, the paper 2 should be ready for submission. So when you are submitting the paper 1, at the same time you will be submitting the paper 2. Week 7. What do you do in week 7? Week 7 is the exam preparation. And in this, you will practice the past papers questions, timed writing, and review weak areas identified during study. So when you are studying, you will be able to gauge yourself whether you are ready and what are your weak areas. we will go to the last week, which is week 8. Now, and in week 7, you will be preparing for your examination, whether typing, you prepare the laptop, typing, prepare on how to connect or how to log in and log out, something like that. So you will be in the preparation for the examination. Then with the paper 2, you will be in a position to rectify the errors that you made previously. So during the examination for paper 1, you should have the paper 2 ready for submission. The week 8 is the final for GIC 2 review. In week 8, you prepare the paper 2 ready, the soft copy, that's the final copy for submission. And at that time, now the paper 1 will be ready to sit, and you will do the paper 1, and after you complete the paper 1, you will submit them at once. And that is how simple you should do. But it requires strategies, it requires order and plan, so that you will be able to pass the exam in the first attempt. If you will be able to follow all these guidelines and manage your time well and follow the examiner's instructions and be well prepared psychologically to face the examination, then I'm very much sure that you will pass this examination with flying colors. Aim higher, always aim higher. Remember, right now, the exam pass mark has been raised. You are no longer going to get 45% and get a certificate. You are not going to get a 50% and you are given a certificate. It means you will have to dig deep into your studies. And currently, this comes because we have the internet. Internet has made almost everything easy. But the more the technology advanced, the more things are becoming challenging. See how the AI is doing. You can ask any question and it answers your question. But the examiners need you to provide your application of your understanding in the course. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the best way of answering the questions, and you earn a mark. Because there are so many people who have failed the exam. There are so many people who have tried. They have been referred, and they have totally given up. Because the exam, if you make a slight mistake, then you are gone. So in the coming videos, I'm going to prepare a guideline. I'm going to prepare a guideline on how to answer the questions. And as we move on with our syllabus, if you're following the videos in our tutorials, then you will get to know that the exam is not challenging. The exam is not difficult. It's just a matter of understanding. If you understand, everything is easy. And you should be able to understand the strategy on how to answer the questions. If you know how to answer the questions, then that's all. The examiner just needs your mind. They need to know. If they read the answer, they should be able to read your mind. That is exactly what they want. If you do so, then you have your certificate. Thank you for being with me until this end, and let's meet in our next video.